Thank you very much, Sam. See, I told you we bought a pair. They're actually under the desk. They're ready to rock and roll. Someone's going to have to hold one of them back. But who's going to have to hold back in this game? No one will, realistically. It's going to be the War of the Widows again. Naga versus Flippy. Come on, let's be real with ourselves. Flippy popped off, so did Naga last week. Who's going to win it?
Well, I think Naga's going to win out on the Widow duel, but someone's going to hold back. According to a desk, apparently it's got to be Nox, who's got to sort of rein it in, make a little bit more reserved plays. Maybe try and stay around with the backline, do a little bit of peeling, scare off those Genjis. Yeah,
he was a very, very aggressive Winston last week, and much to his detriment, did get taken out a few times. We were kind of scratching our heads like, you know, your team's probably at this point telling you to just back off ever so slightly, wait for our engage to come out just before we actually do make that full-on commit. We're going to jump onto Nepal, being the first map. I'm going to jump on in Eagle Gaming. Remember, they've got a big roster, 12-man roster. That means 2 complete teams, Legday, if you can count. I know I can't. I know I was trying to break that down for Tridd. Obviously, Ian Math's got to kind of remember that. We have to make sure we keep it simple. But Copenhagen Flames coming in as well pretty big. Naga is going to stick on this Farah here. Wouldn't surprise me too much.
Indeed, Naga can play so many things, and Mathara is definitely amongst them. However, Eagle Gaming, as we can see, they're bringing out what we would call the classic roster, I'd say. We still have Nox in here, the Nico and Flippy duo on the DPS. The question is, what's Flippy going to come out on? I assume Nico's going to stick with his Tracer.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense. And one thing we did see, actually, was the fact that Nico wasn't afraid to get double-pocketed. I think his supports weren't too afraid either, because as soon as he got that, we saw on Hanamura, Ana on the offense, not something we normally see, and him actually getting double-pocketed. He had the Nano as well. He made some pretty big plays and actually cracked that first point with that Nano Blade. Flippy changing on to the Widowmaker.
Potentially expecting Naga there on the Farah. Nico already going in. Oh, okay, Naga opening this one right up.
Yeah, but so does Flippy, actually. Tridd ends up going down first. That's a massive source of healing going down. They're going to make the full dive commit. They're going to rush into that building. There's only 1 health back. Who's going to pick it up? It looked like the Diva in the end. Poppy Fresh is going to take out Nox, and already Copenhagen Flames. They are going to take the first fight straight to Eagle Gaming.
Unfortunate disengage there for Eagle Gaming. They all found themselves in a little room. And, oh, okay, Nico just a little bit of a parting gift there onto Heiko, who's going to have to reset off the edge. This may give Eagle Gaming a little bit of a window to re-engage here, but unfortunately, when Eagle Gaming made that disengagement all into the same room, and Chubbs could just get so much cleave damage there, as could Naga.
Cleave damage is pretty important. You saw Heiko at the last minute, like just hitting people, just making sure they stay back. Going to rush straight onto the point. Naga already takes out Nico again. The entry frag for him. Coming up really strong. Flippy hasn't quite found his mark, although he takes out Naga as soon as the words do leave my mouth in the end. Get Amaze just using that body, well, using the protection of his Winston on the sidelines in that defense matrix to make sure he can get at least a little bit of damage down to that map. Flippy finds Marine Lord, finds his head. Nico ends up taking out Flippy, though, in the back line with that self-destruct. Mindski with a Discord Orb, but the sound barrier is going to protect him for the time being. Get Amaze moving forward, trying to take out that Mercy, or at least dislodge her for the time being. Does manage to take down Chubbs, although Dezachu being alive still means there's a lot of healing coming out. They should just be able to reset this fight.
Copenhagen Flames there. Oh, okay. Here comes potentially a re-engagement with the sound barrier.
Yeah, Postbomb from Poppy Fresh is actually on the point right now. He has to contest with 2 tanks and a Lucia. Not exactly where you want to be in the bubble, diving and dodging out of it, avoiding as much as he can. Postbomb comes out, but the Primal Rage will survive, make sure the Monkey survives for the time being. Nico gets the Demux onto Heiko once again. Does end up backing off, though. Nox finds Heiko. Copenhagen Flames still in control of the point here, Legday.
Absolutely, and there goes the Transcendence as well. Eagle Gaming are throwing everything they have into this, and they've almost got the cap as well. Question is, will they be able to finish it out? Poppy Fresh is still there.
Yeah, get Amaze with a triple kill also. Nico finally gets his revenge on Naga, but Hype does manage to, or Hip, I should say, does manage to take out Poppy Fresh. They do manage to get it on the 74% mark here. This is a kind of a problem percentage. Anything up and above here does mean Copenhagen Flames, they can get 1 fight and then force it into overtime.
And Naga had to forgo the barrage now. He doesn't want to go up against that Flippy Widow as a Farah trying to engage here. It was okay when he was standing in there at the start, but now he's going straight in onto the Widow. He wants his revenge.
Yeah, Mercy ultimate pop just to give them additional healing. Poppy Fresh finds Hip, traded onto Chubbs. However, Naga, no, we need that Dragon Blade just yet, but that Pulse Bomb will find the D-Mech and find the kill onto Poppy Fresh also. Naga still working towards building up that blade, but playing around the point here. They're being very conservative in the way they actually want to approach this. Dezachu going extremely low. Nico just cannot find the kill on him. Self-destruct will come out, but the complete disengage from Flames should lead them to get to the wrist engage, but cannot quite find the baby D.Va to take out just yet. Healing from Mercy, a little bit too much for Eagle Gaming to counter, and they do end up backing off. Although, as they say, that 2 sound barriers do get dropped, so just cancelling each other out.
Everyone's feeling nice and cushioned behind those overshields, but Naga is going to make sure that no one's feeling cushioned as he fills them full of knives. Pardon me. However, Copenhagen Flames here, they're making some rather sort of disorganized engages, but I wouldn't call them too disorganized. They're coming in from so many angles, and that's allowed Dreidro to have great movement across between these different parties that are crushing in from Ground Eagle Gaming on so many sides.
Yeah, they're just collapsing on them, and that's exactly what's to their detriment at the moment. Philippi takes a couple of shots from main. He's going to throw the Translocator straight in, trying to get the hack on the D.Va, but the back smack plus those miniguns are just going to make sure she doesn't hack him for the time being. Self-destruct comes out, she does translocate straight back into the bomb. Nico gets taken out as well, and Naga with the Dragon Blade still hasn't pulled it out, but he doesn't even need to. The self-destruct takes it for Copenhagen Flames, and they claim village.
Indeed, Flippy thought he was being pretty smart there. He hacked for D.Va, making sure she couldn't get the remake after she used that ultimate, but he wasn't as smart as he thought he was.
Translocated straight back into her death. It's always disappointing because when you just, a couple of pixels out. Come on, man, I was around the corner. It wasn't my fault, man.
Milliseconds worth of timing, because you are invincible while you are translocating. Yes. So for a couple of milliseconds, you probably could have avoided that, or maybe you could have avoided it by just staying behind that wall.
Feels bad, in all honesty. I'm not going to lie. If I was Flippy right now,
that's a flip's bad, man.
Flip's bad, man. Doesn't quite work. I was going to say he flips his keyboard or something, but Flip's bad, man. I guess if he's got a sub button on Twitch, I'm sure he'd have that emote somewhere. Right, Naga's still sticking on this Genji here. They are going to go for this full dive, apart from Chubbs, who's actually going to go on that Reinhardt instead. Just have value holding that point. That's exactly where they're going to push themselves on.
Marine Lord's going to be coming in close here with the Moira, and already Flippy has fallen. That's a lot of long-range DPS that's going to be missing now for Eagle Gaming, and they're going to be forced to disengage already. Nox potentially caught out here. He's got the Harmony Orb, but he's got no friends with him.
He doesn't have any friends at all, and actually Poppy Fresh using him for ult charge at this time. He does actually retreat here, as Hip does find the kill onto Naga somehow. Must have been discorded and take a few many orbs, but they are going to secure the point. Very defensive, like I mentioned, they were playing. Eagle Game, they've got an ult to work with. Nico, if he can find the pulse bomb for the entry kill, they might be able to do a little something here.
Indeed, he has put onto Heiko, and there's the D-Mech, but here comes a big engagement from Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah, Chubbs is actually going to fall straight onto that health pack. He's surrounded by all manner of DPS. Eagle Gaming find 3. They're going to jump onto the point as well. Naga nowhere near his blade, is fairly low as well. Dreidro only just spawning, means Marine Lord is going to have to use that Coalescence for some extra healing on the point. They're actually just going to give it up for the time being. Just make sure they can stall out enough at the moment. Heiko is going to get demeched and killed, so it's going to be a complete reset, you can imagine, from Copenhagen Flames.
Indeed, a complete reset, but not without 37% gained here on the point, and they're going to be pretty happy with that because they can re-engage now with the Coalescence. That means so much healing is going to be available for Chubbs, so he can get in there, start swinging, courtesy of a speed boost available from Dreidro, but he's going up against quite an ult bank on Eagle Gaming. Looks like they've almost got 6 ready to go, and really Copenhagen Flames, so I might want to just save our ultimates here, see if I can get anything out of Eagle Gaming this early in the game.
Oh, Pulse Bomb lands onto Chubbs, as you can see in the back line. Nox just tasering the Reinhardt in the back. Hip finds Chubbs, but a self-destruct will lead Naga to safety, or I say that as Flippy just marches forward with his tactical visor. As soon as that deflect went down, he did not stand a chance. Eagle Gaming recontrol the point for now, but only one ultimate used by Copenhagen Flames to actually make that push work.
Indeed, in Eagle Gaming, they had to come up with 4 in order to hold that one out, and potentially they didn't even need to use 4. That was almost over. The second round, they got Chubbs down. Although Marine Lord did try his best to keep him up with the Coalescence. That Coalescence will be built up pretty quickly now as Dreidro manages to bring him in with a speed boost.
Yeah, the best thing you can do is throw the orb when you're just moving forward, so it subverts a lot of that damage. Sound Barrier will come out, as well as that countering Transcendence. Pulse Bomb does find Flippy. That's a big kill. That's a lot of DPS going down. Naga unleashes the blade. Hip just can't quite be found, though, but Poppy Fresh is going to be there to help his support, help his DPS duo, and a D-Deck as well on to get a maze. Just leaves him high and dry. And then Naga just avoiding all the damage. And speaking of avoiding damage, and Nox is actually doing just that, jumping over the pillar over and over again. It's going to get a little bit of healing as well, but that did just stall out a lot of that time. Flippy running onto the point, just sprinting around. No one could hit him, and he actually finds the kill with the missiles as well before getting taken out by Marine Lord, so they're still stalling.
Absolutely, 84% accrued already, and they can potentially get a lot more here, but down goes the Earth Shadow, and down goes Pippu with it. Naga's going to be claiming that kill, and there goes the D.Va Mech and D.Va herself as well. Now Copenhagen Flames, they're just building up ults off the back of this fight.
Yeah, that they are. They still need to get it. 95% and counting. Eagle Gaming had that about 68%, and they've managed to accrue another 30% just through that consistent stall. Marine Lord does have Coalescence available to him, but look, 2 support ults now coming online. Tridd with his also. Naga's going to have a bit of a field day.
I'd like to point out the synergy between Poppy Fresh and Naga here, when Naga almost managed to kill Hype there, or Hip on the Zenyatta. Poppy Fresh came in from the side, made sure he got that dash reset, and here comes the Coalescence now.
Chubbs, you've got to be careful. Another Pulse Bomb lands. Poppy Fresh finds Flippy yet again. A self-destruct finds Pipu as well. All healing sources down for Eagle Gaming. It's Get Amazed. He's on the point. He's going to have to pull off something pretty spectacular to save this one. Looks like he's going to go for a complete refresh and a reset. Didn't want to blow that self-destruct to get back into mech. But Copenhagen Flames, they do only boast 1 support ult. The staggering of the ultimates, that's what wins you the game.
Copenhagen Flames, winning condition for the next fight is potentially bring Naga in before either Hip or Pipu have those support ultimates. However, it's very hard to make those engagements when you've got a Reinhardt, because you've got to get in there with the tanks to try and support you. The question is, will Naga recognize this opportunity?
Well, self-destruct gets launched into orbit, doesn't quite find anybody. They've traded yet again. This time around, though, Hip is going to be able to pop that Transcendence, keeping everybody alive. Dashes straight into the air. Naga avoiding all the damage, but everybody else is evading him. Hip just isolates himself to make sure Naga can't get anything more off that Dragon Blade. It's 99% ticking down. Remember, Copenhagen Flames did end up taking it, but Eagle Gaming, they went out the fight instead. Get Amazed comes up huge.
Absolutely, and Flip is getting back onto the point now. He's got a tactical visor available. A Flip has come through. The question is, can anyone get there?
No stick for me this time around. Let me ult. He's just trying to find the initial picks. Nox take out Dezachu, and Chubbs just can't get anywhere near the point. He already charged out of the spawn room, meaning Eagle Gaming, they're going to take Village.
The vanilla dive here. Well, I wouldn't say vanilla if they've got Flippy on the Soldier 76, but the dive mechanics and the synergy here from Nox and Get Amazed is really coming to bear for Eagle Gaming. We wondered, is Nox going to make his sort of rogue engagements, or is he going to try and work a little bit more closely with Get Amazed and Nico? And it does look like Nox is managing to call out those targets effectively, and the dives are coming through in earnest. And we saw just how well that's happening, because Get Amazed managed to pick up so many kills in such a hectic fight. They're really focusing the same targets.
Yeah, that they did, and that was kind of the thing we talked about last week, saying, you know, maybe they need to coordinate a little better to actually call the targets and actually stick to them. Nico didn't get double pocketed this time around. He was actually left to his own devices more often than not, and he really proved that, you know, Poppy Fresh, not really too much of a match for him, especially when he's in the 1v1 Tracer duel. Speaking of 1v1 Tracer duel, they're at it yet again. Flippy once again, I was about to say, Flippy once again actually on the Widowmaker. He's got to be really careful. His head will be on the floor if he does step anywhere near him. Naga's
playing around the outside though, just throwing those shurikens. He's looking to maybe try and get it onto Flippy here, but he needs to take account of where the Widowmaker is. He's going to get a bullet to the back, and that will inform him of her location.
Yeah, but another bullet does send him to the grave. Flippy is going to get jumped on by the Tracer, but it didn't seem to matter. Nico was there right on his back to make sure he can clean up a Marine Lord also. Poppy Fresh takes down Hip, but Eagle Gaming, they've got the numbers. They should have the point as well.
They've got the beef on the point, that much is certain. And now it's just Dezachu having to feed himself in onto the point, get himself reset with the rest of his team so they can all come in with that speed boost. Question is, do Copenhagen Flames need to sort of swap things up here in order to try and counter out Flippy, or do they just need to try and ascertain the position beforehand and make that cohesive dive? Because Flippy's being very evasive thus far. He's sort of sitting back, making sure no one knows where he is until he's able to land that shot.
We did actually paint the picture that Naga and Flippy would be the 2-on-2, you know, the one-on-one, sorry, that would be going at each other's throats. But this time around, it is really Nico and Poppy Fresh. They're both near their pulse bombs. Nice headshot by Flippy on the monkey, and actually Chubbs is going to fall because of it. Goober stomp on him. There's Flippy with 2 kills. Easy clap, you'd say. Poppy Fresh just gets booped away as well. Nice, easy cleanup for Eagle Gaming. How many ults do they use? Absolutely near 0. Vanilla Overwatch, as you'd say, Legday.
And they almost have 6 to come into with the next fight as well. Nox just a little bit of tester cannon damage away from that 6th ult. But the question is, how do Copenhagen Flames deal with Flippy here? It's just going to grapple away when you dive. And so I think the answer here is a 2-tier dive. You need to try and make him use his grapple with Chubbs coming in. Oh, that's a Force Transcendence already.
Oh, Marine Lord got stuck in the back lines, but they're just going to make use of it for the time being. Another big bomb does land on Pipu, and Marine Lord will get taken out as soon as he exits the Transcendence. Get Amazed is going to send the self-destruct. Heiko just dodging it, just a backs off, no worries in the world. Now he's going to find a little cheeky route here with the blade, but he instantly gets spotted out. He's got a monkey on his face now. Very, very low HP, has to be extremely careful. But Copenhagen Flames, they found Flippy and they found Hip to start off the fight. So big DPS and big healing sources are down. Get a Maze gets demexed as well. And in fact, that Primal Raging Winston, even though he's disc-orbed, he's making it work.
They're desperately trying to stay alive on my point, but not for long against the Tesla Cannon and the Fusion Cannons of Heiko. And like I was saying before, it's all about making the two-tier dive onto Flippy. You've got to make sure he uses his... Oh, hello. Hip's already gone down, and they're pressing forward. Copenhagen Flames really ready to press this advantage. Hip was a little bit too keen, and he got caught out for that.
Yeah, dude. Hiding around the corner, just like, yeah, come at me, I'm going to charge a shot. Oh, there's 4 of you, and there's a defense matrix. I'm probably dead.
Never mind.
Flippy, for the first time in this specific map, he's actually switched over to the Sombra. He's getting that healing back. They know they're forced very, very far back, so you might as well make use of it. You don't get any ult charge anymore, obviously. It's only for the DPS that you do end up dealing. Maze is going to get pressured out also. They're going to want to play around this left-hand side room as well. Big health pack in there can really lead to a lot of healing and an easy way to the point as well. Yeah,
they can really win out the tank battles here. Heiko, of course, has to rely on the healing of both Tridd and Marine Lord, who don't have that much passive healing unless they're Nico? Okay.
Okay. No signal for Copenhagen Flames. We're going to get a brief pause, but quickly look at the ultimates on your screen. It was the Dragon Blade that was available. So Nico did fall off the map, I'm assuming. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. But regardless of that, they are in the ultimate economy bankruptcy war right now. There's only one apiece. And what's more effective, a Sound Barrier or a Dragon Blade?
I'd say it depends on how you deal with a Dragon Blade. With Flippy on the map as Sombra, you can try and hack that Dragon Blade the second it comes out, and he sort of just starts impotently slashing at people, and he can't really do that much damage. And if he kills someone, he doesn't get the dash reset either, and that makes him incredibly vulnerable. It looks like we're heading back into game. Oh no, we're actually looking at some highlights. Some wonderful play there. But as we were saying, if you hack for Dragon Blade, it can become a lot less valuable than that Sound Barrier.
And they were all shoved up in that corner as well. So Sound Barrier is more or less going to hit the 5 people. Do they actually just activate it now and then kind of hope they get a few dash resets and clean up the rest of the fight, or will we just see a Sound Barrier? It's up to them realistically, but it is a 5-on-6. That's something we kind of got to remember. And Eagle Gaming, their ability to switch off heroes here is a little bit lackluster. I think Flippy just stayed on the Widowmaker a little bit too long, and switching onto this Sombra might just work out wonderful for him, because Nago, like you said, as soon as he gets hacked, he's pretty much useless. Hip's going to fall down first. No hack onto Naga, so he's just still going to have that Dragon Blade in hand, and they have got control of the point as well.
Indeed, Naga has to scatter. He needs to make sure he knows where Flippy is before he goes in for that blade. He's got his eyes on people here. He's trying to make sure that Flippy cannot control this space, forcing him back to the health pack, and he's going to back off. He doesn't want to take that 1v1 on the health pack, and Copenhagen Flames is going to hold this one. They only need to hold for maybe 1 or 2, maybe 1.5 more fights in order to take Nepal, though.
Eagle Gaming, though, Transcendence. They have the EMP. They've got Primal Rage. They've even got the Sound Barrier as well.
Oh, okay. Maybe not.
Feels bad. Feels very, very bad. That's the 3rd time in a row Poppy Fresh has done that. EMP, though, it does come straight out. Marine Lord is going to go down. No shields for him, just meaning he's such a low HP target. Even Dezachu can't actually get the wall ride. So, Eagle Gaming, even though they lost Hip, they're still willing to fight. EMP, such a game-changing ultimate. Naga's even hacked also. Self-destruct comes out, kills Get a Maze. Going to be fairly important because Poppy Fresh is going to have an absolute world of fun now. Hip finally comes back in with the Transcendence in the bubble, though. Won't do healing to anybody outside it. Naga opens up the blade, can't quite find anybody, just gets kited away from as he's hacked as well.
Indeed, can't deflect, and now Flip is going to be giving him a run around. He's got to go into the back. He's going to be chased down by Winston, courtesy of Nox. And now Drew, the last remaining vestige of resistance on the point for Copenhagen Flames. There's the flip for Eagle Gaming.
91% to 99. They need to be able to touch in the last couple of seconds, but Flippy's hacked their health pack as well, so they haven't got any instant healing.
Indeed, now here comes a contestation from Chubbs. He manages to trigger overtime, but he pays for it with his life.
Doesn't matter anyway. Overtime got ticked down. Chubbs was the only one there to really touch it. And already another EMP just activated the last second there. That's how quickly Flippy was actually charging those ultimates. They will end up taking the par there. And Eagle Gaming, even though a little bit lost at the start of that last one on Sanctum, they really pulled it together as soon as they started switching up their heroes.
Absolutely. Flippy made sure that everyone knew exactly how many heroes he could play. An absolute hit scan master here. And you can tell just how much, because with that Sombra gun, he's building up his ult so fast. You're not building up from your health packs and your healing anymore. You have to do it through the damage.
What was scary, I think, about the Sombra patch specifically is every single Genji main going, Uh-oh. I don't want to get hacked. And that's exactly what we did see. Naga kind of took out the blade, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to... No, a little keypad in midair. Just gonna hack you away, and that was really it. You saw him just get kited around the point, and his blade literally meant nothing in the final few seconds.
Absolutely, you can just turn off Genji, and that's what really makes you fear. And he's gonna have to be looking out for that in the next few maps. Yeah, that he will. And Naga was not lackluster on the Genji, I don't want to say. He just got shut down effectively. His ability to actually build the Dragon Blade was fairly important, and it was fairly quickly as well. There's something we kind of reiterating during the entire game, but it was just Flippy, him enabling everybody else to kind of counterpick and just make sure they can get away from the Genji was pretty big. We're going to jump into our second map, though. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey guys, welcome back. Map 2 will be underway very, very shortly. Now we were kind of having a little bit of discussion in the small break that we did have, what map it was going to be. I personally want to see Numbani, and I think it'll open up a lot of flexibility for both these teams. And you were talking about Hollywood too and saying quad tank and even triple tank is going to be very viable as well. Eagle Gaming specifically, they really do enjoy playing Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood, you can really play on the first point. It is, in fact, going to be Numbani. However, on Hollywood first point, you can play those tank-heavy compositions. And I think Eagle's got a roster that's a little bit more suited to that. So that would be why Copenhagen Flames are going to be taking us to Numbani, where you can pretty much run anything. But dive is key on the first point. You get some good soldier play on the top as well. It's all about having your plan and executing it. Yeah, are we going to see Torb again? Hopefully. Hopefully, though I do doubt it.
But yeah, I do doubt it as well, unfortunately. But, I mean, Naga is a projectile specialist as well. So it does open up avenues for him to pick up the Farah. That dive is just supplemented with the hail of rockets that you can unleash. And obviously, the Hellkite that is Mercy up in the air as well. It can be very, very frustrating to kind of defend against that, especially if you've got loads of squishies in the back line.
But it will be Eagle Gaming coming out first on the defense. Hip is teasing the Torbjorn. Oh, straight back to the hero select screen. Now to the Reaper. Doubt he's going to be keeping that. Thing is, will Flippy keep the Doomfist? It's got potential here because the point is walled on 3 sides. You can brawl pretty nicely there. But I haven't seen it happen here much.
It would, yeah. Although they do have Leaf in their roster as well.
Yeah, it's kind of if you're going to play Doomfist, you bring in Leaf.
Yeah, and one day we will see Leaf and we're like, damn. We're actually going to see some Doomfist.
We're going to bring in Leaf, and he's going to play like Genji.
I know that would, yeah, that would be pretty sad. I'm not gonna. I'll be pretty disappointed.
Break my heart
if I do say so myself. But Flippy is sticking on it, although yeah, he's going to chuck himself off the edge, just to tease Copenhagen Flames. Like we might be running this, by the way. We could be running.
It's going to be. It's all about the mind games.
Exactly. Exactly that. Pippi, though, he's going to be on that Ana this time around instead. We did see Bazooka Puppies defend without an Ana on the high ground, and without the Ana, there's not too much healing, especially when you go in for that full dive, and you can just make sure everybody goes purple, get that anti-heal on people to make sure they can't get healed up, and you basically win the fight from there just off one ability and one grenade. So not too surprising in all honesty to see him, but we are going to see Flippy on the winning, so that's something to be excited about.
Exactly, the Biotic Grenade is a very dangerous prospect to a diving team. The question is, to what degree can they defend Hype here, or Hip is going to be the most vulnerable player on this team. He doesn't have any movement abilities, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more vulnerable than Pipu, because Pipu at least can use the Biotic Grenade to sort of heal himself up. Copenhagen Flames coming out with a full dive, a 2-2-2. The question is, where are they going to put it? It's all about deciding on their targets early and making sure they're not finding themselves foul of a couple of nasty abilities on the side of Eagle Gaming's defense.
Yeah, El Clasico of compositions. Depends. Can they get on Hip in the back line? Pipu taking a little bit of damage, but will he collapse like a garden chair? Now they're going to jump straight on the back line. They spotted the healers, but they instantly get deleted. Poppy Fresh and Nico end up falling, but look, they're playing the point now, forcing to get Amaze to actually go down there, but he's got so much healing from that Harmony Orb and so much healing from the Ana too. They're literally just body blocking the healers to make sure they can stay in, but they are giving up the point because of it.
Paused, but 2 ticks accrued here for Copenhagen Flames. That's about as well as you can do in that time frame. You can't cap it any faster, and it just seems that Eagle Gaming are a little bit too sheepish to get onto a point. Maybe they're hoping that Flippy can go around the back, get a little bit of a pick, try and start some sort of snowball going, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Flippy's now joined Hip and Pipu in there, and he's not going to have many great sightlines. Yeah,
with both the Tracer players going down so early on, you can't actually open up with any big kills or open up with any big flanks. You are kind of forced to play around your healers, and that way you're not touching the point. We saw Get Amaze jump on it and then quickly uses rocket jets to get back up, and there's nothing really going on. It was just them, the Eagle game, just kind of sitting there going, okay, I guess we'll just let you take the point for the time being. We're just going to have to reconvene, and hopefully our Tracer can get back before yours can.
Yeah, as Dezachu would put it, was a flash in the pan from Get Amazed. He went down, found a little bit of heat, and was quickly back up to his healers. And why not? Because Pipu can put down so much healing on Vanana with the Biotic Rifle. They will win out a tank battle if it comes to just healing and how the vanilla tank mechanics stack up against each other. But the thing is, they can't try and get that engaged because there's just so much territory control on the side of Copenhagen Flames on that point now.
And what kind of screams to me also is that Hip isn't actually getting a lot of charge on his ultimate. He can't actually put out the damage on that Zenyatta because he can't step past the door. He also can't get a lot of healing down because Pipu's taken most of that role. He's got the grenade. Obviously, you can just splash it on the tanks, and then a couple of left clicks, and they'll be all nice and healthy. But they literally conceded 2 ticks for almost nothing at this point. They really need to be able to just force their way onto the point, maybe get a big anti down onto some of them, and then roll their way from there.
My theory here is that they're trying to build up to an nano boost as quickly as possible, give it to Nox, and try and use that to sort of brute force their way onto the point with like 99% left. Just make the tiny percentage plays on the side of Eagle Gaming.
Well, we've saw tiny plays already in the 1 to 2 health clutches from Puppies a little bit earlier on, but we'll have to wait and see. Nano does charge extremely quickly, and when it is used on a big tanky target, they are damage resisted as well. You can see them now jumping around that bubble. Very, very low is the Winston, and actually Flippy comes back with a shot in the back and will be able to execute him as he does make his way out. Marine Lord's going to go down as well, so looks like it's going to be a complete reset from Copenhagen Flames.
Indeed, though all is not lost because 2 ticks, as we mentioned before, were accrued here by the side of Copenhagen Flames. And now Eagle Gaming needs to be so careful about how they play the point. It's going to be down to Nico, Get Amazed and Nox to try and play this around the point. Make sure it's always in contestation. And Flippy's going to be moving back here. Potentially, he's going to be looking for a little bit of a surprise here.
Has got Infocytes coming up soon also, so maybe a little bit of a cheeky play. And he doesn't want to get dove either. If he goes down first, there's a lot of damage being lost. There's the Infocyte. So you can imagine he's going to wait for the time being. He's actually going to tag the Lucio on the way out. Dorijo going extremely low. He enters the site straight away and actually just gets taken out. Naga takes out Hip, but the rest of the cleanup comes for Eagle Gaming yet again. And even a nano boost used just to make sure they can secure it.
Likely not needed there, but Nico is going to pick up Poppy Fresh on the back. Poppy Fresh needs to respawn with his team anyway, so he's not going to be feeling too bad about that one. That was so intelligent from Flippy there. He decided to play it behind the car because he knew when they jumped up towards those supports, they were pretty sure that Flippy was going to be there just to make sure he had the healing, make sure he had the peeling there from the Diva and from the supports themselves. But instead, he was playing a little bit further back where you usually retreat to if you were dived.
There's one scary time bank as well. They're definitely in a power position for the time being. Hippie or Flippy. He's going to find himself a Climate Raging Winston. That's the only thing that can take him out for the time being. Self-destruct comes down, doesn't quite land on it, but Nico does end up pulse-bombing at least one member, and Poppy Fresh is going to go down also. And now they should just be able to get on this point, get a couple more percentages, but they are going to have to dash out in the end, as they do lose most of their members. Even Naga gets chased down. Only 2 ultimates actually used in the form of Eagle Gaming's Infosights and the Pulse Bomb, so they've still got a lot to work with.
Eagle Gaming here are so good at making sure that when a deep dive comes through from Chubbs, Marine Lord and Dreeder are really made to pay when they're out on their own. And now Naga almost has the Blade, but he's going to be going up against Hip, who has the Transcendence. So here, Copenhagen Flames, the name of the game is force out the Transcendence. You need to make sure that that is not coming between you and the Team White.
Well, they're going to speed up to get under the bridge. A Transcendence really early, actually. Marine Lord comes up just to make sure they don't take any initial damage. Hip, remember, still has his in hand, and Naga just forcing everybody back, but Marine Lord is going to get taken out instantly as soon as he comes out Transcendence once again. There's the B. It's only going to land on 2 members, and Naga's actually going to use that as a go button to come in. But, like you mentioned, Hip's actually got his own Transcendence, so Naga just sits there kind of sort of twiddling his thumbs, a little bit sorry for himself, and actually gets taken out by the Venom Mine as well. Eagle Gaming should just be able to clean the rest of this fight up. That they do. Couple of percent, well, 6% off the point actually being taken. Then Eagle Gaming, I mean, Copenhagen Flames are making every single push matter, but 30 seconds remaining, and they've only got 6% to take.
And that was so good by Hip, Flippy, and Pipu. They made sure that if they were getting dived, they could all support each other and make sure that Hip was not forced to pop that Transcendence before it was absolutely necessary when Naga brought the Blade out. And that meant that Naga's ult was completely nullified. Copenhagen's win condition just sort of melted away from them.
They have to go. They've got 10 seconds remaining, and they still need that last tick. Flippy's got his Infosights very soon. He's jumping out, trying to find the headshot. Can't quite get it. Poppy Fresh trades, and that's a big kill onto Pippo, who actually popped the nano boost as well. They're finally coming back with a vengeance. Nox is getting taken extremely low also. He's going to have to be very careful as he doesn't have much healing on board. Poppy Fresh almost taking him out, and actually a boot from Tritro will send him back to base. And now Nico, he needs to be able to touch in these last bits, crucial bits of overtime, but I'm not sure it's going to matter, especially with Flippy on the carts. He's going to be able to hack people. Naga goes down as well. This could look like a full hold. Chubbs is coming in. He doesn't quite get hacked, but that Discord will send him extremely low very quickly.
Absolutely. Now Heiko is rejoining the fight, but there are just too many members of Eagle Gaming here. Nico throws out his pulse on when he has to avoid the self-destruct. Pipu, not quite so lucky. And now the last remnants of Copenhagen Flames will fall. Yeah,
that they will. Nox is going to clean up Dritro. That Lucio with the Discord orb on him falls extremely quickly. Beautiful target prioritization from Eagle Gaming, and they get a complete hold on Numbani.
That's incredibly impressive. Like we said in the break as well, Widow, we're not sure if it works so much on Numbani. Flippy's like, well, let me educate you, Jaws, Legday.
Show you otherwise. And we mentioned it, the ability to hide around that car, just making sure they can play a few mind games with them. Hey, I'm up here with the rest of my team, there's a lot of healing up here and I can get a nice sight line. No, he's actually going to hold the lower ground. He's going to hold rather far back. So in fact, Copenhagen Flames, what they needed to do was actually commit so many members to that car in order to take him out that the rest of Copenhagen Flames, who need to sit on the point and accrue some percentage and fight the rest of Eagle Gaming, it was a really split decision for them. They ended up just going for the full dive straight onto the top of Eagle, but thing is, you leave him alone, Flippy's just going to take out your supports one by one. That's exactly what he did.
And another great thing about Flippy's position there is he knew that that sight line had sort of a monopoly on where the supports for Copenhagen Flames could come through. Because Dritro and Marine Lord, they can't jump. They can float a little bit. But they can't jump. They're forced to come through that low ground or that high ground, and they're forced to make these slow engagements through that sight line, which Flippy completely had control of. And now, it looks like Flippy may be on the May, but I imagine he's just toying with us.
Oh, probably.
Don't play with my heart, Flippy.
I did put out a tweet this morning saying, unfix, you know, hit me up with some more of that May action. Unfortunately, didn't end up picking it up. I can't imagine we're going to see it on offense here unless you really want to go hard on the dive. I mean, wall people off and just shove everybody in that corridor. Doesn't really make all too much sense. You know, I can imagine Flippy's actually going to go on. Maybe a Widowmaker here. Could be quite possible. It's a very easy sightline if you just go slingshot yourself up one of these buildings and pick someone off of the back. Or he could just switch on to the Genji, deciding to go for the Widow this time.
That's going to give Naga a lot of trouble because on the defense here with the Farah, you don't really have that much architecture to play around to give you cover, and Flippy's going to be able to get some pretty nice shots on you with those jumps and the grapples. But looks like for now, Flippy is going to be moving with the rest of the team, being escorted along by his tanks and his healers here as they're going to scout forward. They're going to call out the positions, do the recon for him.
Yeah, that they are, but the problem is Nox is already going to go down. And in fact, Eagle Gaming, I think that's all them said and done, maybe? They might just back out after this. They're going to get a little bit more poke damage down. Don't really want to contest the point, reveal themselves just yet, although Chubbs is falling pretty low, but he has got Dritro on the side. Heiko does take out Pipu somewhere, but Heiko does actually get demeched as well. So a 1-for-1 trade to start us off with. And Hip is just going to be able to play the only heal at the moment. Isn't going to provide too much to himself, just making sure he can save Flippy if he's in trouble.
And I said that Naga didn't really have the architecture to play around here, but Eagle Gaming coming through this way means that Naga actually does. He can play around the high ground, play around these pillars, and make sure that Flippy can't really get an angle onto him.
He's doing just that, and that damage boost on the left clicks, just the automatic fire is going to be extremely devastating if it does land on Flippy. Uh-oh, Flippy's in a lot of trouble now. This is the kind of composition we talked about. Are they going to be able to protect him, or is he just going to get taken out by one of these tracers? NiKo's doing a good job thus far, although does get booped off the edge, just about gets the recall off in time. Flippy goes down to Heiko in the end. A pulse bomb does land. NiKo does take out Poppy Fresh, and that'll be a D-Mech as well. That's a really big opening for Eagle Gaming, but can they make anything more off it?
They're being a bit more measured. They're trying to heal up before they go in, and here comes the self-destruct. They're being backed up by the Transcendence. It's not going to get any kills, however. And now Naga from the top with a barrage. It's only going to get amazed, though.
He's going to get amazed, but he's going to get his mech as well. Naga going extremely low, but cannot be touched by NiKo as soon as he uses that jump jets once again. Pipio's going to activate the ultimate, same with Dezachu. So support ult for support ult for support ult for support ult. Legday. NiKo on the point, trying to just evade as much as he can, just try and contest for as long as he can as well to make sure his team and he can buy enough time and space, but Naga is just going to be able to clean up here. There's no Flippy available. He cannot be able to touch this Farah when she's in the air. She's playing so safe.
Absolutely. Down goes the self-destruct. Heiko with 2, the madman. And now Naga's free to clean up. He's throwing in the rockets. Just a little bit of a hope in the wind, however. And Eagle Gaming sent back to the Drunk Lord, and they haven't accrued any ticks yet.
They were stalling for so long as well. Flippy changing over actually to the Soldier this time around and just more consistent DPS up to those aerial targets. Maybe that's actually what they needed. They needed to escort this. They needed to escort the Widowmaker. They couldn't really let her go alone because Poppy Fresh is going to be there to take her out, and even the concussion blast as well from Naga would just send her flying, just dislodging her from any high ground she did acquire. A very tough engage from Nox. Goes in at solo once again. Discord Orb does land on him, but NiKo's going to be there as well to help him out. But Chubbs ends up getting taken down by Flippy, and now NiKo's contesting the point. They have the time to do this right now. Flippy's going to take out Naga, so that's one aerial threat they've already deleted. A big D-Mech here might just land Eagle Gaming in the better position for them, and even another pulse bomb already for NiKo. This guy's a beast at racking them up.
Indeed, now we can try and blink in towards the back, maybe lay it down, but now it's all about the still game for Copenhagen Flames. Already a tick has been accrued for Eagle Gaming. Can Copenhagen Flames stay in here and keep this in contestation? Well,
Dezachu did pop the Valkyrie, which means she has a Hellkite in the air, just staying invincible for the time being, but NiKo's just cleaning up your supports in the back line. She needs to be on the point to contest. Naga comes up big with the rocket barrage, but only finds Flippy. Time is ticking down. Heiko gets completely body blocked. And that will be Eagle Gaming taking Numbani and taking the lead in this series.
It was scary for a moment there for Eagle Gaming. They thought they pretty much had it when they held first, but a couple of nightmares for 2 minutes, trying to escort Flippy, but eventually he moved out to the Soldier, a bit more of a solo operator, could keep himself healed up with that biofield, bring in the burst damage with a Helix rocket, but managed to focus down the tanks instead. Chubbs were the first to fall, and once Chubbs is down, the rest of Eagle Gaming could just, they could take over the point. They had the beef there, and Chubbs just wasn't there to make sure that everyone from the side of Copenhagen Flames was protected.
Well, there's big variety from Eagle Gaming as well, showing that they can, showing last week that if you pocket NiKo, he's going to be able to solo carry. This time around, I don't think he even had a Harmony Orb on him. Like he might have done, but realistically, he was actually just a solo operator in the back lines. Naga was just so focused on the front lines as well, taking out the tanks, that he ignored the Stracer, killing the rest of the supports.
Absolutely. Supports kept going down. And eventually Copenhagen Flames did as well. 2-0 for Eagle Gaming. They're setting up on match point.
Yep, match point. We're going to see what our analysts have to say after this small break. We'll see you guys in a bit.